Nini everyone, Zabora here. So update video I promised you. Work has been kicking my ass. So it's only been a few minutes since I've done the last video, but I do want to, I know it's a new day for you guys for seeing this, just because I'm going to delay it like a day or two. So we're going to move on to our next lesson, which is going to be on divination. This is going to be a much longer lesson. I'm going to cover a lot, just like I did with the herb series. I'm going to be covering, what do I got here? I got 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, like 7 different forms of divination, and I'm like barely scratching the surface here. But this is basically, I might do 6. I might actually cut one. But this is basically the different forms of divination that I enjoy, that I often implement, and that are kind of almost the most popular. I'll be covering things like, what is it called? Cartomancy, which is divination using a deck of cards. I'll be doing Ceromancy or Ceromancy, depending on how you say it, which is divination by melted candle wax, which is popular in hoodoo. It's something that you would use to divine if a spell is working. We'll also be doing chiromancy, which is palmistry, the characterization and foretelling of the future through the study of the palm. This is also called cryology. We're going to be covering cleromancy, which is sortation, the casting of lots. This is like rune casting, bone casting. Another word for bone casting would be ostomancy, which is divination by means of bones. But I feel like that would be covered more under casting of lots for cleromancy. So that's why I said we may do one less. We're also going to be doing dowsing, which is the utilizing human sensitivity to the subtle energies emitted by any source, living or inert. Pendulum readings, basically. I'm not going to be doing dowsing rods, that kind of thing. I prefer a pendulum when I do divination. So, or at least that style of divination. It's just my preference. So yeah, that is basically what we're going to be covering under lesson 17 of divination. Now, divination itself is the process of seeking knowledge of the future or the unknown by supernatural means. Okay, so the first one that we're going to be talking about, and I'm going to have to break this down into a 2-part video just because it's going to get a little long-winded here, is going to be chiromancy. Now, chiromancy or ceromancy, as I said, is divination by melted candle wax. So this is typically done with hardened wax. All right. So what you do is you select a candle. Say it's for a money spell. We're going to check to see if our money spell is doing well. And what you're going to do is into a bowl of cold water. Okay. Whoop, dropped it. You light the candle after you designate it, you mark it, dress it, and all that stuff. And you just let it drip for X amount of time until you form wax balls. And then you would then read those wax balls for signs to see if your spell is working. Now, while you're doing this, you're concentrating on your spell, you're concentrating on knowing the outcome, just like you would do with a deck of tarot while you shuffled, or while thinking about your question before casting lots. You want to have that clear question. You can say it out loud. So it's like, I want to check on the status of my money spell. Is my money spell effective? That kind of thing. And then you just want to drop blobs. And this is similar to tea leaf reading, how you would interpret this. So it's basically the interpretation of symbols and shapes and what those things mean to you as a witch. Now, for me personally, I believe that certain symbols hold significant meanings between people that may not always match. So the Eye of Horus to me may mean something that it doesn't mean to a different witch. So it's very important that you be into that intuitiveness. You may want to keep a journal. You may want to meditate for a specific amount of time on different symbols that you come across, because this will also be helpful in like dream interpretation. It'll be helpful in your magic when you're writing sigils, when you're doing petition papers. You know, it's incorporating that symbology into your magic. I happen to be big on symbology, so you know, I like to use it. So let's say I take my candle and I dressed it to here, okay? And here. Let's say I marked it. Actually, not dressed it, but I marked it here and here, okay? So I would burn the candle to those marks while thinking about the question. So the first part, it'll be, is my spell successful? And I'm dropping wax into the cold water, and I'm letting it harden, and then I'm going to be interpreting those symbols. And then that I will clear out the wax. So let's say, oops, probably went a little too far. So let's go ahead and we're going to drop candle wax. Let's say it hits the mark, okay? We're just going to leave it in here to burn. Just going to put this off to the side. And my question is, how is my spell going? Oh, so it broke into pieces. Wasn't the most stable. So I'm going to pick this up. And oh, look, it kind of looks like a little dinosaur to me. Do you guys see that? Kind of looks like a little dinosaur to me. So maybe my spell's a little old, and maybe it's not working so well, or it's going to die out. So maybe it needs more energy attributed to it, given this symbol. Let's see here. Oop, it keeps breaking. That's alright. We're just going to read the whole pieces as they pop up. So this one here, this one kind of looks like a car or a truck to me. So maybe it means moving forward, or maybe it's a hippo. Maybe I'd want to look up the meaning and significance of a hippo to try to find out if that means something to me in regards to my spell. And that's something else that you can do. I know I said it's kind of different for each witch, and it is kind of important to meditate on what symbols mean to you. But at the same time, you can program your brain. So if I tell you that the Eye of Horus is protection, and it only means protection, and you attribute that idea of protection into your brain, and you ingrain that symbol into your brain, and then the next time you do a wax reading, and you can use this for other things besides this, like, oh, how is my spell doing? You can actually use this for advice. And you see the next time you do this, the Eye of Horus, or something that looks like an eye, you can go, oh, that means protection. That means I have to do a protection spell. But yeah, that's basically it. You're just dropping wax from a designated candle into hot water or cold water, letting it harden, and then you're reading it very similarly to how you would do tea leaves, the outcomes, the results. These all look like dinosaurs to me. I don't know. I've been playing a lot of Jurassic World Evolution, so that's probably why. But yeah, that's basically Ceromancy or Caromancy, depending on how you want to say that. I hope you found this enlightening, and that's it for tonight, guys. Ceromancy.